It forges future stars. It tests character and ability, a battle between four white lines. That is the power of schoolboy rugby. Hundreds of matches, all the tries, tackles and kicks. For 40 straight weeks, we've brought you Rugby on 216. Well, welcome to the final episode of Rugby on 216 for Season 1. It's episode 40. We're at Pretoria Boys High School. We're going to chat about some exciting news for their 125th year next year, as I like to say, their Centennial year. Guys,
Their
how
what?
are we doing? Centennial. 125th.
Probably had to have gone to the most expensive non-private boys' school in South Africa to know that word.
Centennial.
Centennial. Say that
Yes.
quickly 5 times.
Centennial. 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 There we go.
It looks impressive, but he was practicing it for 20 minutes. Yeah. He saw something new on Google this morning and he had to try it out.
Well, I knew it existed. I just had to double check. But guys, we've been doing this for 40 straight weeks, and here we are. Crooks, you've come all the way from Cardiff to be with us.
Yeah,
You couldn't miss the last one.
Couldn't miss the last one. It's a chance for me to say goodbye to sports, and hopefully I'm going to avoid it for the next few weeks until the rugby season starts. It's actually a celebration for me. You know, obviously I lost on the red cap this year, but at least now there's no sport for me for the next few weeks. I don't have to pretend to be his friend. I don't have to take his calls anymore. I can just avoid him, and then sort of get myself used to him again around Feb next year.
What's that word again?
Centennial.
Centennial. We will do red cap Centennial 125 years, and I'll wear it all 125 years. So I'm also looking forward to a break just to recharge. Red cap is heavy.
Yes.
You know, carrying it everywhere.
You're going to go back to Bloem, plot your defense of the red cap. You're going to go back to Quebec and plot taking over the red cap. So we're going to come back with renewed energy next year, probably sometime in February.
It has been mentioned that next year we'll do it on a handicap system. So we'll give him like a 10-point head start. You know, because of it. We're going to go on golf handicaps. You know?
Oh my word. Well, we've done quite a lot this season, and we've been going for 40 straight weeks, so it's quite easy to forget some of the things that we've been up to, some of the things that we've seen. So I've got some clips from the year of us. So for once, we're not looking at clips of plays, of players, of anything. We're looking at clips of us, and I want to take us back to our road trip, which is only in the last 2 weeks, right?
Oh, I know where this is going.
And just look here. I mean, Spud and I are chatting away. We're having a deep discussion, and then he's just popped through the polls. We have absolutely no idea that you've arrived.
So the definition in the diary says walk of shame, you know? But not Cooksy. There's no walk of shame here. There's a walk of authority. Comes in, and I'll never forget. He comes in and he sat down and he just acted as if nothing was wrong. Went straight into how cool the southern suburbs is.
Look, we've realised, and he just walked straight through.
I mean, but is that sort of his flight attire though? because he came in the same stuff this morning as well. So that's Cooksey on a flight for you. But yeah, that was one of the nicest mornings I ever had, because I knew the ammo was just given to
You
me.
arrived at Blue at Cape Town International, and the first thing you asked me was Cooksey, and I said, well, the last I heard, he'd missed a flight, and the next one was delayed.
Because I remember when the travel logistics was sent out, he was going to arrive a couple of hours before me. I distinctly remember the message on the WhatsApp group. It's great, I'll have a brekkie, you know,
at the
before
airport.
Scoot comes. And I thought he was still having a brekkie, obviously.
Well, I didn't have a brekkie. I was meant to have it in Cape Town as opposed to Joburg. So I had the brekkie in Joburg. None of my proudest moment missing a flight that early, and then after walking in and then getting to Saks. And I remember trying to call Alex and Sport saying, "Where are you guys?" And I realized, oh, you guys are shooting already. You're still shooting. So I felt like I had to at least make a good impact of the bench.
It was definitely the longest Uber ride also I've ever seen. Because from Cape Town International to Saks is about 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yeah,
at most.
yeah.
And I remember you telling me he'll actually join us at Saks. He might be in time for the shoot. But it took like 45 minutes after that for him.
It felt like a year. That was a tough travel day.
You mentioned you did have brekkie at Oatambo. You guys have both travelled a lot this year. What's been your best breakfast at a festival, at a school? Egg and bacon roll, burry roll?
Yeah, I just struggle to, whenever food comes up, you know, the Absa Villa tournament where Althea does the catering for us, you know, and she does the catering for the whole tournament, for all the dignitaries and everything. And every morning when you walk into that hall, it's just a smorgasbord of, you know, there's brownies for after breakfast and things like that. So it's not just your traditional bacon and eggs. It's everything.
Can I say, you mocked me for most expensive public boys school using the word quasquicentennial, and you have just, from Bloem, from Grey College, said smorgasbord.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's because it's about food. I know a lot of lingo
He knows how
when
to
it comes to food.
describe
You know?
food. I mean, not that it was good. That was a good spread. I mean, that week
Yeah.
it was a tough week to be one of those Super C energy cans. I think I also put it about 16. I had about 12 as well to make sure you survive the day. I thought Northside was good. I mean, but most places have been good. I mean, you can never go wrong with a burry roll. You can never go wrong with bacon and egg roll. So yeah,
It's festival food.
I don't think
we
I've
feasted.
ever gone to a festival, a school rugby day, and been like, oh no, that wasn't good. When
Yeah.
I've had my egg and bacon roll, my burry roll, it's always fantastic.
Because you've also got your stock standards. You know, you've got your chip and dip.
Yeah.
You've got everything there. You've got the old favourites, and it's almost great because that's the only time you have it.
Yeah.
Because now you've got an excuse to have it. You know,
Yeah.
standing at. The only bad thing about a chip and dip at a festival is the queues. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of those where you wish somebody's watching rugby on 216 and they go, oh please.
Yeah,
Get in
go
here.
first. You need just an app. You can be standing next to the field and you just say, cool, bring it to me.
Yeah.
Bring it to me on the
This location.
on the side. Cool. So that was our first clip. I've got another one to look back at. Also part of the road trip. We went to Paul Gim's incredible lifestyle fitness center that they've inaugurated this year, and we sort of had to give the equipment a try. So I just want to.
is this like a Tech Cook's Day or what?
I mean,
It's just starting out with the push-ups, and it was going quite impressively well, and then.
I was expecting more. Because
High Rocks athlete.
Yeah, because his form as he took it, he took it with purpose and with vigor.
Well, the first one was perfect. I was like, geez.
And I sort of felt sorry for the equipment because he's a strong guy.
Unfortunately, the
Spud,
equipment
you
fought
did
back.
come, and I just wanted to pay attention, as Cooks mentioned, when you did it. You can't really see here, but how red his face went.
Yeah, but I think what's good there is the depth. Is how deep it went.
Also, Spud to that thing of he did his first one, and then he's like, okay, cool, that's one and done. I try to be here and go for two.
I think the most important thing we sort of need to recognise, Cooksey, is age is becoming a factor.
Well, you guys wouldn't sprint. We had 3 tracks. Literally, it was perfect. There were 3 lanes on the track.
You won't believe this. I went through my photos on my phone last night because phone's getting full.
Yeah.
To delete a few things, and I came across a photo of my last sprint, And that was as coach of the University of the Free State cricket side at the USA tournament. I felt the need, because the boys were down after a tough loss, I felt the need to play a bit of touch with them. And I tore my hamstring. And
You tore your hamstring?
And the photo is of the blood pooling at the bottom of my knee, at the back of the knee. That's the photo. I couldn't get myself to delete it. It's a memory engraved never to sprint again.
Do you feel the pain when you look at that photo?
It was one of the most uncomfortably painful things that has ever happened to me. It wasn't like a little grade 1 or 2. It was hamstring gone.
Gone. Oh, okay. Well, then I kind of, if you'd shown me that picture, maybe then it would have made more sense why you didn't want to sprint. But
I don't know. I also wouldn't sprint again.
win sprints. Okay, fine.
I'm done sprinting.
We'll have to keep the red cap as the competition then, and the impossible truth. All right, the next one I want to show comes from quite early on in the year. The impossible truth, you always go on and on about how I'm a youngster and then I don't understand things, and this was a moment, Sput, that I think you were quite proud of yourself, and I'll keep the audio on.
Thanks, now. I know you must sign off, but I get these flashbacks. 2002. Now, I mean, were you born then?
No.
Yeah, might have been the year your mom and dad was working on it. Did that really go to air?
That went in, look, and now you just lose it. Everyone loses it. And you even say,
Oh, keep it in, I don't know.
you're like, cut it out, but keep it in.
I mean, that's when Rugby on 216 went from a school rugby show to playing after prime time. That was when we transitioned to Channel 2-1. That's just in case for a different type of audience, because Put was supposed to get us fired.
Do you know the worst message I've ever received in my life? Right, the worst message I've ever received in my life after that show aired. I wasn't at home, and my parents watch all the shows. My mum WhatsApps me, and the message says, "Tell Sput that yes, we were."
Wow.
Worst message I've ever received in my life. Thank you for that, Sput.
I don't want to make it sound like, we do a lot of work on TV or whatever, but that's the one thing I wish I never said. It's like, Cooksy, I don't know, usually you've got sort of the safety net of, it can be cut. And I remember distinctly asking the producer to cut it, but obviously...
You asked in the show, and then you sort of backtrack a bit, and so we left it in. We did leave it in.
I just want to look at the camera and say to the whites, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to take us back. We are at Pretoria Boys, to one of the early Red Cap days, just to show when Cooks did.
His head is already swollen because of the fact, but
it's so comfortable.
So this was at St. Stithians. We were talking about Easter festivals, and I bring it up because we were sitting at Pretoria Boys. They're going to have a festival themselves next year for their 125th year, quasi-centennial year.
Yeah.
So I'm already looking out of the school. I've never been to Pretoria Boys before, and there's just a forest. It's just beautiful.
It's surreal to think we're sitting at a school, but also just the size of the school grounds is phenomenal, and it's astounding. Look, I'm still stuck at that clip that you just showed, because obviously, due to selective memory, I never realized there was a stage that Cooks had the red cap.
Well, that's the last time you actually brought it to work. The stage,
and it was at Easter.
There was a stage, and I had the cap for weeks, and Sput was just not bringing the cap.
We're closer to the next Easter
than
to that.
I think, there's an Afrikaans saying that jy het klaar met die wit brood onder die arm. I think Cooks is moaning about it because that was very ceremonial and very nice. I mean, like a proper handover.
You did, as you do it, say his head's already swelling.
Yeah.
So there we go. And to be fair, the red cap did come down to the very last week, which we literally couldn't have scripted better if we wanted to. So we'll see how it goes.
When you asked me, like after 5 weeks when it was clear that it's going to be a landslide, and when you asked me then to script it, I couldn't have done it any better.
Orchestrated it to perfection. We'll have to think about it next year a little bit as well, because, I mean, we were a bit random with who would pick first each week, and I don't know if that influenced it. So we'll see how we go. Last clip I have to show you guys was the Paarl Derby. We had so much fun at the Paarl Derby. Everyone had a fantastic vibe, including the kids.
And it's not just
the kids from Paul Boys and Paul Gym who come to watch. I've got a little Callum with me. Callum, how old are you?
I'm 9.
Okay, who are you here to support today?
Paul Boys.
And do you go to Paul Boys?
No.
Okay, so why Paul Boys?
Because I like Paul Boys and in high school.
Okay. And if you, when you go to high school one day, which school do you think you're
I
going
want
to
to
go
go to Paul
I do love that he's a serious man. He's all in on Paul Boys, but it's hard to know when he goes to high school he's going to Paul Roos.
Yeah. He just couldn't choose Paul Roos because they don't play in the Paul Derby.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, good on him. 9 years old, he's got his future planned already.
Yeah.
Paul Roos, I mean, that's the best marketing tool probably ever.
Well,
in the world.
I saw that the old boys were quite quick in turning that into a viral Instagram reel and on TikTok, so they did take advantage of it.
No. But before we go to break, I just want to mention, yes, I may have missed a flight, and I was late for a show, but I feel like we were remiss not to mention that someone didn't rock up to work after their son's school loss. He normally doesn't complain about the drive from Bloem to Joburg.
Instead, he went to Kimberley.
And then he mentioned that he was exhausted. He had to go in Kimberley. No coincidence after Great College was to Pora, because he was nowhere to be seen. Then the funniest thing, the best obvious, it's the same drive. He was the first guy at work. Understand the drive was no issue. I'm saying I was late. I missed the flight. Sport didn't rock up to work. He just didn't. He was at his house. He was mourning. Then, bro, I'm like, look, he didn't front up. I had to front up.
In all fairness, driving up from Bloem this morning, 1:30, by the way, it's the time I left Bloemfontein this morning.
Jeepers.
You have 4.5 hours to Pretoria, more or less. A lot of time for reflection. It's weird, eh? Something that's been part of your life now for 40 weeks, eh? Gonna take a break.
But you haven't taken a break though when Great was to Paul.
I took one break. I took one weekend off.
Eventually, the middle of the season, the most hectic time of the season is supposed like, you know what, I'm going to take a break this Sunday.
I know we have to go to ad break, like Cooksey said. I've got to tell you the story about the Great College Paul Gymnasium game. So after the match in Bloemfontein, watching Great College lose live, having to commentate on it, I actually went and had an evening out with Peter Rousseau and Helmut Leerman and my wife, and so one of the Paul Gym coaches, Blazer, stayed behind in the buck. And the next morning on the way to Kimberley, me and JJ, my son,
who is 5 years old,
who was 5 years old at the time, he was with me and stopped at the Paul Gym boys, and they came to collect the Blazer, and JJ saw the shirt and he was like, "Are you from Paul Gym?" They're like, "Yes." He says, "I don't like you." Oh, what a day. Yeah, and then obviously, like Cooksey said, decided just not to pitch the next day. It was the safer option.
No one has seen the pictures of him in Kimberley. He said he's going to Kimberley, but there's no actual proof of him in Kimberley. All I know is that he was not in studio that day. I was in studio. I came and fronted up. I had to rep Sport.
But sometimes not being in studio was also dangerous if you guys went on location. You remember when St. Stilians almost had a bit of an upset?
Yeah.
And then the parent came to you and was like, "Split, you were almost wrong."
but for me, the one glaringly missing clip in this whole thing, seeing that we're now airing after prime time, is Cooksey's video he sent us from Lords.
They just say my picks that day were interfered with.
It was as overcast as it is currently. Shades were on.
And he was under the stand. He wasn't even outside.
And usually like Cooks is very good at this. Just before the cameras start rolling, or as they roll, he's got this, beautiful smile.
And it was more of a...
But that smile was there once it started. It was there already, Yeah. It was one of the moments of the series, his video from Lords.
Oh.
Well, we have had some amazing moments in Rugby on 2 and 6 this year. We're going to be chatting a bit more about that during the rest of the show, and we'll talk a bit more about Pretoria Boys and the exciting event coming up next year. We're going to take a quick break now. We'll see you in a bit.
Je kom mee boksen. Kibbies? Anne? Maar waar is die Anne?
Hey, hey, hey! Ik kom niet boksen, ik kom niet boksen. Goed. Ik kom niet boksen, ik kom niet boksen.
Wow, wow! Exemos, wow! Breng van mij die box.
Okay, so.
The Courier Guy, the courier behind the box.
Can you deliver something for me?
Where to?
Hij wees van mij, hij wees van mij. Put this one in the springs box.
Look at man.
Hey, winner.
Sure. Sure. You sure? Sure. Sure. Sure.
Yeah, man, you sure?
Yes, I am sure. Look at this thing. It's presidential. What if we get caught, man? Nobody gets caught in South Africa, man.
That's true.
Now lift. I'm sure.
Don't just be sure. Be sure. King Price in sure. Insurance you can be sure about. Visit kingprice.co.za.
Welcome back to Rugby on 216, brought to you by Thirsty. Standing now on the Brooks Field at Pretoria Boys High School with Mr. Hassenkamp, the headmaster, and Mr. Anthony, director of rugby and head coach of the first team. Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us on Rugby on 216. It's our final episode of the season, and we're at Pretoria Boys for a very special reason. Next year is your 125th year, and in Easter, you're having a festival to celebrate that with schools from across the country coming. So we want to unpack that, want to chat about that, but first just welcome to the show.
Great to be here. Thanks so much, Alex.
Thank you, Alex. Good to be here, and thanks for the support from SuperSport Schools.
So let's start the festival next year during Easter. Where did the idea sort of come about? Obviously it's the 125th year, but where was the decision to decide that we want to have this in the 125th year?
Alex, it probably goes back to 2001, which was the centenary year of the school. And in that year, we hosted a Easter Rugby Festival as well. I think in the last 25 years, as Easter festivals have grown, they've become bigger. There've been more of them around the country. And while they were small at that stage, there were probably a limited number of them. And we felt that it would once again be appropriate in celebration to have a rugby festival. And we've chosen it over that Easter weekend, which I think is the perfect time to do it.
Awesome. And so there are already quite a few Easter festivals happening on the weekend, but you've got some proper schools coming. Tell me a little bit about the schools, who they are.
So we got in early. Mr. Anthony and I,
Yeah.
the rugby fraternity at the school, had a chat, and 2 years ago we knew that we wanted to share this milestone. We sat and we had a look at probably the more traditional schools that we've had to do with over the years, so they weren't randomly picked. If you have a look at the 9 schools who will be accompanying us, to have the 10 schools here, they're schools that we have a long and healthy relationship with, that we've played sport against, and particularly rugby against, over the last 100, 125 years, and those are the school that we handpicked to join us, and I'm pleased to say that everybody agreed to come.
Wow, that's very cool. And talk to me a little bit about the format, how many days, what that's going to look like.
Boss, well, it's running over two days, well, 2 match days.
Yeah.
And we've got the schools, to give you a feeling of the schools, they'll play matches, 5 matches throughout the morning into the afternoon for those 2 days. They've got some great schools coming in. I'm going to try and remember them. I think we've got 2 from Natal, Maritzburg College and Michael House.
Yeah.
2 from the Eastern Cape, Grey PE and Selborne. 2 from the Cape, Rondebosch Boys, and who was the one on?
Sachs.
Sachs, you're a good man. And then we've got ourselves, and we've got from Gauteng, we've got Parktown Boys and Cheppy. Have I missed anyone out?
Affis.
And Affis, obviously local, us and Affis. So it's a nice mix of schools throughout the country.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to it.
That's going to be so
Some
exciting.
great clashes.
Look, I think if you look at the names that Mr. Anthony's just mentioned, there's so much competition for these festivals to get the top rugby playing schools at the festivals. And I don't think you're going to end up picking up the quality rugby playing schools, particularly English speaking traditional schools, that we've got at our festival coming up next year. So I think it's hugely exciting, and there are going to be some huge rugby clashes to take place.
Oh, and it's going to be happening on these fields. It's my first time at Pretoria Boys. It's the first time I've seen like the forest you've got going on there.
It's beautiful.
This fantastic field. Talk to me a little bit about the history of the Brooks field. We'll take a little walk just now and talk about some of your memories on it, but just the history of it and what it means to Pretoria Boys and the boys who go to the school.
Well, Mr. Anthony, maybe you want to pick up that discussion. I'll fill in afterwards. You've been a long time serving staff member at the school and rugby coach, and I think you've probably got some interesting stories to tell.
Do you want to run by those first, Alex?
What it means to you, maybe the field.
So the school, look, I played here as a schoolboy. In the 1970s, 1974, 75 and 76, I was lucky enough to wear the candies and play some massive games over here. Actually, I'll remind my friends from office, we beat them here in 76. We lost narrowly in 74. Mr. Hausenkamp, in fact, played for me, the headmaster. He was the 8th man in 90, what was that, sir?
1990, the most talented 8th man you ever coached, Mr. Anthony. I'll just remind you of that.
So it means a hell of a lot to me. My son played here. You know, he captained it's such a small world because he captained the first team which Mr. Hausenkamp then coached. So you've got this huge cycle of tradition, actually, from old boys to parents to sons. It's a fantastic field to have played on and to be part of. And if you look around it, you'll see it's not ostentatious. It's simple, because that's how the headmasters have said, we keep this field simple. That's the way we want it. We don't have huge grandstands. It's got to be what it's always been.
Yeah. I think what's so special about, especially at all boys schools, the tradition that both of you went to the school and are now still at the school. And I think that's just so special, and that you coached him and now he's headmaster. I mean, it's just what a cool thing that I don't think happens at many schools around the world, except in South Africa, at schools like Pretoria
100%.
Boys. And I think it's a bit of that tradition that you're going to be celebrating next year for the 125th year.
Without a doubt. Linked to that tradition as well, you've got what we call the Willie Brooks field. And Willie Brooks, in fact, was a long-serving staff member of ours at the school. He taught for 50 years at the school, wrapping up in the early 1970s. He was a deputy headmaster, boarding house master, and the tradition that comes with that heritage, the culture, the ethos it creates is everything that's to do with this 125-year festival. And it's wonderful that it's come full circle with us, but it stretches all the way back to the early era of the school, the likes of Willie Brooks who started it all. And it's a celebration of everything that's happened in those 125 years, and particularly on this field.
Awesome. Well, let's take a little bit of a walk on the field, and you can tell me some of your memories. I mentioned it's my first time at Pretoria Boys, but I've watched a couple of your games during the year for Rugby on 2 on 6, and I've got to ask, when you guys play Maritzburg College, can you tell the teams apart?
Well,
for me watching, it's not easy.
So if it's muddy, we have a white jersey.
Oh, okay.
That we play in, but I canned that this year, because I think if you just look at the shorts, they've got white shorts.
Yes.
Their stripes are way bigger.
Yeah.
And we never had a problem.
Yeah.
We've never had a problem. And I decided we will never play in the white jersey again, because it's not the candies.
Yeah.
But you're right. If it's muddy, it can get ugly.
I'm more coming as a referee, just hoping the referee that you penalise someone and realise that it's actually the other team that you've penalised for doing.
Probably happened the way the refs are down in KwaZulu. No, I didn't say that. No, I'm only joking. But it can happen. But we've decided that that's it.
So it's going to keep the stripes. Awesome.
Keeping the stripes.
Let's talk then about some of your memories from this field. We've come to the corner where we've got the Brooks Field sign. We've got the scoreboard up there. I'm sure you've both got some memories from here.
Well, I'll relate to one, and boss, I know you've got one, then I'll maybe relate to another one. The one I'm going to relate is not, it pays tribute to schoolboys. We were playing Grey Bloom, and we were really in the game. It was tight. I can't remember the final score, but I think they won by 5. But we scored under that post over there.
Yeah.
I was standing right there, and we scored. And the ref said no try, he didn't ground it. Frans Steyn was playing. This was 2005.
And he was playing for
Frans
Grey.
Steyn, I watched him, he walked up to the ref and he said, Mr. Ref, he scored. And the ref said, I didn't see it. He said, no, I saw it. I'm telling you, he scored. And the ref said, I didn't see it, I can't give the try. Now that stuck with me because I was a schoolboy who's from a massive school. I mean, to lose Pretoria Boys would have been a first ever, but he was prepared or confident enough to think that they could, but his honesty was over the top. And I got to work with France down at Natal and with KwaZulu, with the Sharks. And that's the person that I remember, and he's never changed. So that for me was incredibly good. It's great to see a schoolboy who's just honest.
That's amazing. And I know you get lots of stories like that, but to hear when it's great college, when really to lose to Pretoria Boys, I mean, they take every match so seriously.
100%.
A loss to a school for the first time, you don't want to be the great college team that does that.
Yeah.
And he didn't care about that and wanted to make sure it was a fair game and an honest game. So that's amazing.
And a credit to him, he nailed a kick of about 60 meters from there over there to actually
so it might not have mattered.
No, it would have mattered, but it was just incredible.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll never forget that.
That's amazing.
Well, Mr. you talk about that 2005 team, and you were coaching the team at that stage. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's right.
A story I remember, and in fact it happened right here on the 22-meter line. You had a team, I think we beat Uffies that day, 2005.
Yes, we did.
So it was a huge day. Boys played out of their socks. And at some stage during that game, the game came to a stop. And the ref called, I think, you onto the field, and he showed you one of our little flankers. We had a chap, Matthew Bursky.
That's right.
Tough little number 6 flanker. And he brought the game to a stop because Matthew had lost his 2 front teeth.
Correct. They'd
been smashed out by a big Uffies boy. And he said, listen, you've got to make a sub here. And Matthew refused to go off the field. I was, as a staff member, I was sitting on the stands over here watching the game, watching this play out, and Matthew refused to leave the field. It was the last quarter of the game. We were ahead. We were going to beat Uffies. He was going nowhere. So we got the Form 1s sitting on the stand. So the Boys High boys fill that stand over there. And we made the Form 1 stand in a line. And the Form 1s walked across the field. He knew more or less where his teeth got knocked out. They found both his teeth. Bursky popped both his teeth back in.
Come God.
He finished the game, and we beat Uffies that day. So there's some classic stories to be told on Brooks Rugby Field.
So he put the teeth back in and put his gum guard over them and carried on.
He was a tough guy.
He was adamant. He was going to... Wow.
And just while the bosses are on Uffies, and I'm great mates with the Uffies guys. I mean, I coach with Yaku and I love the twins. They're good mates of mine. But when we one year, and we can only talk about the wins, which are few and far apart, when we won again in 2019 over here, we actually had set up a line-out attack, which I thought would work. I'd done it way back in the past with, in fact, Jesse Creel and Pierre Skuman and them when they played for me at the Bulls. And it was, we called it Kick It in the Stands. And we actually prepped it for Cares, because the last 3 games we play are Cares, College and Uffies. I call it the try series. Yeah. And we prepped it for Cares. So if we get a penalty 15 out, and 5 out from the goal line or 10 from the goal line, we'll call Kick It in the Stands, and you line up to kick at the forwards there, our big forward, we just chip it and he runs onto it.
Yes.
So we got a penalty about 10 out in this corner here.
Yeah.
And Justin Cross was the captain, and he had the ball as a fly, and he said he was thinking, what must I do? Must I scrum? Must I go for the line out? And Nell, Reinhard Nell, was a big prop, and he walked past Justin. Justin says, because I said to him, who made the call finally? Because they didn't call it against Kes or College. And he said, Reinhard walked past me, Jussie, kick it in the stands. And he walked around, and as he walked around, Justin chipped it and he scored in the corner. Yeah, from 5 out.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so that was I'll never forget that.
And you know, I've seen that. It goes viral every now and then when it happens in international matches or Super Rugby or whatever. And I always get asked the question as a ref, like, is it legal, whatever, if you look like you're going to the corner? And 100% is. 100%. The only time you have to do what you say is if you say, I'm going to kick it goal. If you say you're going to kick it goal, then you have to kick it goal, and you have to actually make an effort to kick it goal. But you don't have to tell anyone anything else. Don't. So you can make like you're kicking for the corner and just tap and go, or kick it across.
I did that once as a player.
Yeah.
At Chepi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back in 1975. We were playing at Chepi, and I placed the ball on the 22, and the ref came to say, what are you doing? I said, I'm not going for posts.
Yes.
They said, no problem. All the Chepi boys stood back on the 22, Gospel House, this is a genuine story. And I lined up and I ran, I tapped it, I ran hard, I popped the ball and the guy scored. The Chippy Oaks was standing there. What the hell?
A little bit of innovation.
Look, and I think these stories that we're telling about kicking in the stands or looking for your teeth, we're going back a couple of years, but the beauty of the festival that's coming up, this is Brooks Rugby Field. It's got 100 years worth of rugby played on it.
Yeah.
These are a couple of the stories we're relaying now. And the question is, on the 4th and the 6th of April next year at our 125 festival, which new stories are going to be created? They're going to be stories that those schoolboys playing next year are going to be telling for the rest of their lives. And it could be one of the big clashes that we've got coming up. Pretoria Boys High School against Rondebosch, a last-minute try, a last-minute penalty, so. Whatever the case is, a Rondebosch old boy. And this is schoolboy rugby for you in its purest form. And I think the stories we're telling now, we can look forward to during our festival next year.
Well, guys, I don't think I could have put it any better to end off. Thanks so much for joining us on Rugby on 2 on 6.
So
it's been great having you. As you said, from the 4th to the 6th, what new stories will be made? Next year, the Easter Festival for the 125th, the Quasquicentennial year at Pretoria Boys High. We'll find out because it will all be on SuperSport School streamed, and some of the matches will be on TV as well. We're going to take our final break of the season here on Rugby on 2 on 6. When I come back, Sput, Cooks and I will do the final Impossible Truth. See you in a bit.
We were lost for 3 days. I told him to ration the water, but he somehow went and drank every last drop in the first hour. I have a family.
We urge the public to remain calm. There is no leak. However, we have identified a thirsty individual who's responsible for this water crisis in the Western Cape.
You almost left Brackenfell for Waterkloof just because of the name. Almost.
Jason, is this true?
Yeah, that's true. I am thirsty.
Some things you don't choose. They choose you. A name, a history, a legacy that came long before you and will last long after you're gone. It's not just about the game. It's the moments that shape you. The early mornings, the long bus rides, the chants that never fade. The friendships, the rivalries, the feeling of being part of something bigger. It's a belonging. Something you carry with you wherever you go. Because once you're a part of it, you always will be.
For the final time this season, welcome back to Rugby on 2 and 6, brought to you by Thirsty. We've been doing this for 40 straight weeks, and it all comes down to this, the final impossible truth. I thought before we get to it, I'd give us a little starter, a little hors d'oeuvre, an amuse-bouche. I was chatting to Mr. Hassenkamp, headmaster of Pretoria Boys. This bridge where I started the show, there's a little story behind it, and I'm delighted to say that it has a Rondebosch connection. So, before Mr. Hassenkamp, the headmaster of Pretoria Boys High School was Mr. Tony Reeler, who went to Rondebosch, part of the Reeler dynasty at Rondebosch. His father was headmaster of Rondebosch. His sister taught top-set maths for many, many years. He's currently the headmaster at Bishop's. But while he was here, he's a keen golfer. You guys can appreciate this.
I can now.
Is it coming to you? Coming to you. So it's a little bit larger than the Swilcan Bridge at St Andrews that connects to the 18th, but it's modelled after the Swilcan Bridge that goes over the Swilcan Burn. He's a keen golfer. So next to this beautiful big pond they've got here, I call it a pond, but it's basically a small lake. And over the little stream, they've put a replica of the Swilken Bridge.
It's amazing. But while you were busy saying all of that, I was just sort of thinking, next year, new season, called what? Bosch on 216? Will it be called that? Or will we still be returning as Rugby on 216?
It is sneaking in, but I mean, it's an incredible bridge. I mean,
it wouldn't be an episode of Rugby on 216 if I didn't sneak it in.
No, look, once he started with a story, I could see where it was going, because looks exactly the same.
100%.
Have you walked over the Swilken Bridge?
Not yet, Spuddy, not yet. Hopefully next year. Hopefully.
Anybody's watching?
Yeah.
Keen for it.
Rugby on 216 from St Andrews.
There's the one school touring Scotland next year.
Oh, for sure. Take us with. We'll do a lot of social media shorts.
Your school will get so much promo. Right, guys, final impossible truth. I'm on 5 out of 5 the last 5 weeks. I've got a little streak going. If I get this right, I end on 55. Get it wrong, I end on 54. So I'd really like to end on a hot streak and a round number.
And I want to make sure you end on a loss. Like, you have a tainted memory. But I'll lead the charge for one last time for the season.
I think I must go first.
Okay.
Because every time you're leading the charge, and the last 5 times it hasn't worked out. So it's like
you got it 45% somehow.
You play a bit of golf, don't you? So when you and your partner continuously go wrong, swap order.
100%. Take us away, Spuddy.
2003, Pretoria Boys High beat Affies. PS Peace played for Affies.
So, Siya Kolisi, Springbok captain. He's also one of the few guys to have captained Grey High 2 years in a row.
Wow, guys, they're not even remotely related to each other. There's nothing.
We had a whole year.
Could you not have just one of you said John Smith went to Pretoria Boys, and then you'd be like, do you know what? I interviewed his son because he's a great water polo player, and on water polo on 2 and 6 we had him. But
Son didn't go to Bosch, did he?
No,
he's not in Bosch.
No.
Okay.
Smith Junior is here at Pretoria Boys at the moment. I think he's deputy head boy next year, actually, but doesn't play rugby. So the lineage is ended with his father. Okay. I feel like I have read knowledge. That means I should know this. I shouldn't. There's no way I'm going to know that unless you've said it at some point. But I've read Sia's book. I've read Rise, and there's just something in me that doubts whether he was captain for 2 years at Grey High, or if he was even captain at all. So I'm sorry, Sia, but PSB, let me just think if I've heard anything about him. And I'm just hoping one is actually true and one is false. Okay. I'm going to say Sput's true.
Hey,
come on!
Yes!
I just want him to straight up no one. Like,
yes.
Yes, I know.
Hey, I know Sia was not captain for 2 years.
Now you know.
Was he captain at all?
No.
You see, I thought he wasn't captain at all.
And I thought, you know what, we could have got him maybe like the bagel.
The battle between 1 and 2 years, maybe, but actually,
I think the way you wanted to go first would have been better.
What did he want to say?
I was going to say who was the last two, Sia and Jeremy Ward, the last 2 captains to be great college. But I thought, you know what, you might remember because we done one where we said it was 2014 and 2004. So I thought maybe.
No, I wouldn't have.
PSP did play for Affies in 2003.
I'm still not sure if I would have thought Sia captained Grey High, because at the time, I mean, he came to Grey High, I'm not sure if it was even grade 8, but I just remember his book, remember that even at the time, I mean, he was learning English, he was just, I don't remember him being ready to be a captain then. Obviously then, now,
but the captain by the late...
You could get misled by the current situation,
Because they were led by in 2008, it was that Bones Bete who led him, and then in 2009, it was the late Sia Mangaliso, who was arguably insane in school. The guys were saying that he was actually better than Sia, especially in matric year, where Sia was fantastic in grade 11, but it was Sia, Renew, Erasmus, and Sia Mangaliso. I mean, that loose trio, I mean,
absolutely.
We always speak about him in 2008. I mean, in PE, Grey High versus Grey College, you see wins number 1, both sides unbeaten, and that great side was one of the best I've ever had, and took a monumental effort from Grey. I remember watching that game. About 20,000 people there.
Yeah,
at
a lot of people.
Even 2009 was a good game. The few years were great. I mean, it was.
I mean, it's
big encounter.
You know, in all fairness, you know, when sides have their sort of breakout side, their best side in their school's history, you know, they often then lose against Grey College.
Oh, Spurs. See, that's also going to be back next year. Guys, can you believe it? 40 weeks we've been going.
So, if only we knew each other back then. Because we were at the same game in 2008.
Were you actually both at it? I don't think I knew what rugby was in 2008.
Obviously, for me, there's a bit of an extra special connection as my younger brother played in that game for Grey College. 17-14, I think, if I can remember correctly, or something like that.
2018
2 or 3 points, you know, right at the death.
Well, I was in grade 10, so it'd been awkward for me to be making sport.
So do you know what?
Would have been a tough weekend for you.
2008. I wasn't even at Rondebosch yet.
But at least your parents had stopped working on you by then.
Oh my word. Okay, well, 40 straight weeks. Guys, we're actually done.
I can't believe it.
It's the end. We're going to be back in February. You've got a little bit of a break.
Will our executive producer watch this final show?
And
Can I say I'm relieved? How does it work? No, but it's going to be rather strange not to speak schoolboy rugby for 2 months on Rugby on 216.
It's going to be a different break. I mean, it's going to be a good break, but I mean, it's going to be like to feed off, rest, recover. I think I'll go down to Quebec and I think our boys taking on Grand in warm-up game, taking on Frainsby. So I might just sneak in there, watch a little bit of rugby because you can't stop. And then, I think to all the schools, the fans who've made it, Rugby 216 what it is now. It's been an incredible journey. Thank you for the guys in Bloom. Thank you for looking after me, making sure that I managed to get out there safely. And but sure, it's been lekker.
The amazing thing is rugby doesn't stop. We spoke to Sean Erasmus the other day. It's become an 8-9 month season. A lot of sides are going to play in December, but sort of sharing your sentiments, Cooks. Thank you very much for all the schools and the way you look after us when we get there. It's been a great road trip that we had in the Western Cape. It's been absolutely brilliant spending time here at Pretoria Boys High. We've been all over. I personally have been blessed, literally getting across the whole South Africa. And thank you so much for always supporting us and always taking care of us. And I know it's tough to accept Alex into your midst, being an old Bosch boy, but thank you very much for even taking care of him.
Enjoy the break from us, from the Grey College, Eastern Cape and Rondebosch propaganda. We're going to be back in February. A massive thank you to Thirsty, who've made all this possible over the past 40 weeks. We can't wait to bring you the next season of Schoolboy Rugby next year as I lift up my microphone pack, guys, for the last time this season. That's all we have time for on today's episode. We'll see you next year.
But for now, bye-bye.